we'll now take you live to the Information Ministry, where Finance Minister is actually briefing the press.
And that's the ADB itself and the African Government Fund for concession loans. So typically about 3,500 participants attend the AGM. Given the COVID issues, we expect it to be about a third of that in terms of delegates. And this year is also the 50th anniversary of the ADF. So it coincides, and it's also the 50th anniversary since the passing of our founding president Nkrumah. So we have all these global issues. We have the 50th anniversary of the fund, the 50th anniversary of the passing of Dr. Nkrumah, and we have the AFCFTA headquartered here. So today, 41 African economies are severely exposed to at least one of three concurrent crises: rising food prices, rising energy prices, and tightening financial conditions. Finance ministers now call it, the dreaded 3 Fs of food, fuel, and financial conditions. And that is just rippled through all of Africa. Food prices easily about 34% higher. Crude oil prices some 60% higher. Global inflation has risen. We saw our numbers yesterday moved to, I believe, 23.6% or so, and a good chunk of it being imported inflation. So we truly are at our wits' end on the continent as to how to address these issues. And the numbers of people who are impacted is quite scary. And we have to look at that. So the newly poor in Africa has increased by some 55 million, and approximately 35 million former jobs are at risk around the continent due to reduced demand, enforced lockdowns, and global supply chains, and the war. So this toxic mix of challenges persists even as the continent recovers, or we try to recover, from the devastation of the COVID-19 pandemic. The spread and scope of these challenges require collective and coordinated action at the regional level if Africa is to overcome them. In the AFDB, we have a well-positioned institution with a convening power and a network of technical and financial resources to significantly contribute toward finding robust solutions to some of these intractable problems that we are experiencing. So the theme this time around is achieving climate resilience and a just energy transition for Africa. So the 2022 AGM is significant as it is the first physical meeting since 2019. Therefore, we must take advantage of this seminal AGM to advance discussions on building resilience, addressing financing gaps, and narrowing the continent's physical and digital infrastructure deficits. As a privileged host also of the AFCFTA, we are also providing an opportunity to advance the course of economic integration in response to some of these challenges during the annual general meeting. Indeed, on the sidelines of this meeting, we also have 30 indigenous industrialists, 5 fintechs showcase their services and products. Ladies and gentlemen, the annual general meeting will be attended by ministers for finance, governors of central banks, leaders of local and international finance and development organizations, captains of industry and civil society, and organizations from the 81 member states of AFDB made up of 54 regional and 27 non-regional members. So at this meeting, there will be a formal opening where President Nana Akufo-Addo will deliver the keynote address and closing ceremony, which will be web-streamed and also televised. There will be a presidential dialogue on Africa development challenges and opportunities. The president has invited about 10 other heads of states to be here. They will be in two groups, really talking about the issues that are pertinent to the transformation of our continent. So that is going to be very exciting for us to see the minds and vision of our leaders. We'll also have 4 statutory sittings of the Board of Governors. Those are closed sessions, some 4 knowledge events in terms of building resilient digital economies for Africa, climate resistance in Africa's food systems, green jobs for youth and women, and the seminar on special drawing rights will also happen. Then we'll have an Africa Day event coinciding, as I mentioned, with both the 50th anniversary of the passing of Dr. Nkrumah and also the 50th anniversary of the ADF. But that will be a very exciting day with culture, speeches, youth, exhibitions, etc. So I believe that hosting this high-level event in Ghana will help convey our collective appreciation to the AFDB as a long-standing strategic partner of our country. Through an enduring partnership with the bank, Ghana has undertaken significant infrastructure developments, including the Pokwasi Interchange, Terminal 3, Awoshi-Pokwasi, and Fufolso Solar Road, and then also the Savannah program in the north for agriculture. We've also made considerable progress in partnering with them in education, skill training, sanitation, and the modernization of agriculture in Ghana with the significant support of the AFD, including some solar systems, some TVET training, supply of fertilizers and seeds, and then transformation support to 100,000 SMEs in Ghana through the Rural Enterprise Project since 1995. We're also thankful to AFDB for its support in establishing the new $800 to $1 billion development bank, which will officially be launched in June of next month. They provided $70 million of complementary financing to support that. So Ghanaians have a cause to take pride in and promote this enduring partnership with AFDB. We owe it to our forebears and ourselves to successfully host this important event for the continent. To this end, the local organizing committee, headed by Yvonne, has worked assiduously with officials of AFDB to deliver the key aspects of the AGM as outlined in an MOU that we signed with AFDB on November 8th, 2021. So I'm really happy to report that we've had 2 initial assessments which have gone very well. Just left a breakfast with Dr. Adesina and the diplomatic corps. He also paid a courtesy visit to our president yesterday, and I think we are 90% there of preparations, and it's going to be one of those moments for the continent in which we highlight the issues that are important to us and really ensure that AFDB begins to take its rightful role on the continent and among the leaders in the world of supporting financing of our continent. So some of the key issues that we will hope to achieve at this summit is how to push our non-regionals to acknowledge that the ADF, which is the concession financing, we should be able to go to the capital markets to leverage its 25 billion equity so that we can bring more resources to the continent. The reason why it's important, 2 reasons. One, when a country, African country, goes to the market, you end up getting an interest rate of at least 8%, whilst people like Greece will get about 2%. If we are able to use the ADF to issue bonds, they will get it also around the 2% and unlend it to us at a cheaper rate. So we need a collective lobbying effort to get countries to do that. But also significantly, apart from getting that resource, they are able to leverage it about 4 times. And so it increases, the supply of long-term funds for our development on the continent. So that's important for us, and we need to push for that. The other issue is also a recognition that donors and the multilaterals, the Bretton Woods, they cannot really meet the demands that Africa has. And the key is in our ability to assess pension fund money in the West. But because of the way in which ratings agencies rate Africa, it really becomes difficult for them to invest. How do we get into these almost 145 trillion of money that is mostly underperforming to find an Africa stability mechanism which will then be able to draw or crowd in that type of capital which we need for our SDGs, for climate change, to recover also from the COVID experience. So that is the challenge. It's a good time for this AGM to happen down, and it could lead to some really important change in how the global financial architecture is tackled, so that we can get the resources we need to be able to transform.
Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta briefing the press on the situation of Ghana's economy